In this video, we are going to be looking at the two trails that go up to UNBC from Ginter's Meadow. The first trail will be the multi-use trail, and the second trail will be the equestrian trail, or I call it the goat path. Hi everybody, in this video we'll be on the UBC connector system.
And eventually what we'll have to do is I want to go to the Forest of the World and we'll do all this hiking because this is really good. So that's another hiking trip we'll do soon.
In this video we'll be starting at the top of UNBC at the Rotary Lookout and take the multi-use trail down to Ginter's Meadow, as nobody wants to see an old man slog up the trail really slowly.
Hi everybody. So I'm here. I made it to the top of UNBC. I started up the head. Of course, the road's right here. It's quite noisy. And you can see, got the tilly hat. You gotta have a tilly hat. And when I was climbing out, these were really, I have carbon hiking poles, so they're very light and they're really wonderful. And I find I started using hiking poles when I was up in Chatwin, and that would be, ooh, Christ, 15 years ago at least. I wasn't even 60 then, in my 50s. And I find going up hills and all that, they're just marvelous. So I've used them ever since. Had to readjust them. They weren't the thing, because what you do, you go up, under, and then when you deal, it grabs your hand and gives you good support. Had to readjust them. They're a bit loose. I'll show you where we are and where we're going to go to the trailhead, and the rest will be on shoulder cam. So there's UNBC, and we'll join that, and then down at that nice lookout, and there's the trailhead right there. So there's the trailhead. Hopefully we get everything on camera. I do notice that the GoPro tends to overheat and then shuts off. But we've got a new battery in here, and we'll do the backs, and hopefully we'll get it all in. We'll see what we get. Yeah, this is an old GoPro Hero 5, and eventually I want to replace this with a DJI 3 and use this camera just as an underwater camera. I've got an underwater housing coming for it.
Here we are starting on the multi-use trail.
Okay.
The equestrian trail doesn't go all the way up to UNBC. It stops just shy of the highway. And we'll show you the junction of the terminus of the equestrian trails shortly. This section is pretty boring because it just follows the main road going up to UNBC right here, University Way. Here we're going underneath University Way.
This looks like brick, but it's actually a rubber. You can tell when my poles don't sort of, harsh. So we're back on the main trails. They don't maintain these signs very well.
So we'll be going down the multi-use trail, which is to our left, and the equestrian trail is to our right, as shown here. So we're now on the multi-use trail going down to Ginter's Meadow. As I said earlier, this is a multi-use path. That means that you can actually bike up here with a mountain bike, and I think this would be a wonderful trail for an electric assisted mountain bike because it is parts pretty steep.
It'd be nice when we're farther away from the cars so we don't hear the traffic. It's a lot easier trail than one I came up on. A little seat, yay! Seat! Going downhill can be pretty hard on the knees, and that's where poles really help. You can take a lot of weight off your knee.
Sorry, sometimes my hat gets in the way.
Just had my bone density. My doctor insists I do a bone density scan, I think because my age. And I have incredibly great, my bones are very, very strong. Means I can take a tumble and not worry about it. Yeah, enjoy it. That's the equestrian trail right there. So I went down that was pretty straight up. I don't even know how a horse would climb that hill. This is not a steep either. Still steep. We didn't do that little loop. We could have done that loop to get back here, but I'm just going to keep on the main trail. This is a nice easy trail. The one I came up was a little bit more difficult than this. Surprisingly, the other trail was a lot more quieter than this one. You didn't hear any traffic. You hear traffic on this one. This is a nice path. Yeah, there are a lot of little sub-trails around here. It's definitely the main path. And this is back at Ginter's meadow. This is our route down, and we don't have much of a hill to climb, so it's probably faster, but it's pretty. You get a good view going down. I think sometimes you see more going down than you do going up. I think this is just to get a good view. Okay, yeah, it's a real. This is the main canyon. I'm moving the camera down so you get a good view of it. Okay, it's quite steep. Yeah. So since we're on this trail, I'm going to just keep on the side trail. It joins back to the main trail in a few minutes. Yes, much faster going down.
This trail is actually on a ridge between two gorges on both sides.
Handy having poles when you go down steep, slightly steep trails. But you can dig the pole in, and that saves your knee. I like cycling because it's easier on the knees than running, and I don't get as many injuries. I remember talking to my doctor. I say, you know, he knew I was a cyclist because we biked together, and I asked. He was also a runner, and I asked him if I should, and he said no. I mean, he said you're the age, and it would do much. He 100% said cycling is far better for me than running, and quite frankly I kind of like it too, because A, it's faster, and the second thing too, when you get down hills you get a free ride. Yes, climbing hills are hell, but going down the hill's fun. You don't get that when you run. I did a bit of trail running when I was younger, and I like that better than regular running, because just running through the trails is fun, but that was many years ago. Keep reminding. As I said, I'm gonna be 73 in October. Yeah, it's funny, you know. Every year, it makes things become harder, and your body slows down a lot more. I think my body's going to slow down a lot more from 72 to 82 than it did from 62 to 72. I'll keep as active as long as possible. Yeah, when I see all these berries, that kind of makes it, oh, it's time to get bear bells out.
As you can see, the gorge really peters out down here. So we'll cross over this bridge and then we'll go up the other side.
Wasn't careful there. I'm hiking these light hikers. I might actually switch over now. I've got myself a pair of good hiking boots, and it's probably should switch over to those and start breaking them in. Because I'm supposed to be doing some major hikes. Hopefully, we shall see.
We have to do a small little bit of an uphill climb now.
It takes about half the time to go down a hill as it does to go up a hill. Okay, this is the bridge, the second bridge, and we're going to stop here. And we're going to change the batteries. This is pretty. Okay, there we go. Battery number 3. So this makes sure we have tons of batteries. See, this is a real nice, easy path. That little path goes out to the multi-use trail. Yeah, this section is pretty steep coming down here. And here's where this is the main part where we join back onto the multi-use trail. And here it comes really steep for the next little section. This is this. We're coming to the really steep part. I mean, this is steep, but it's doable quite easily. I don't mind this. I mean, you gotta be careful, but this is where it starts getting a little bit iffy. Just remember that rock is loose. Somebody put their weight on there and gave way on them. The roots really help. Yeah, here's the part that I do not like. This part right here, coming up. Yeah, this section's really uncomfortably steep. And this is the steepest section of the hill right here. As you can see, we're coming right down there. That's really steep. You gotta be really careful. As I said, that's way too steep for a horse. I think they just named it Equestrian Trail because they thought it was a cool name. That's why I call this section, this is the Goat Pass. I named it Goat Pass. I mean, for goats, this is nothing. God. You put goats on a steep path like that, they clear up straight up there like nothing. That ridge straight there, pointing there to a goat, that's flat. Put my hand in the loop. You gotta go up and then you twist it and you go down. Yeah, and there's no roots or anything to put your foot against here. That's why I don't like this one section. I rely heavily on the pole. Don't know if you can see the poles or not, but you can see I'm using them to dig in to help, so that I take as much weight on the pole as possible. And I want to agree, got light day shoes on there, and I really should be wearing proper hikers. They'll grip a lot better. These shoes slide too much. But this is a good little path to get going. Okay, that was the worst of it by far. I love this section right here. It's really nice. I wish it was all like this. It'd be a wonderful path. Actually, I should go up to Forest of the World, and if I can lift up the Forest of the World, would be wonderful. And I can hike all the way to Otway. It's about 17 kilometers. Range for a drop off at Forest of the World and a pickup at Otway. That'd be cool. Okay, the path goes that way, and that's a shortcut. I took a shortcut once this way, but I'm taking the main path around because I'm lazy. I don't really want to go. I mean, it's faster, but this is gentler and easier, and I don't feel like fighting it. Yeah, felt my shoe go, and this is a relatively easy path, but I guess there's a little bit of enough loose gravel it went. Sometimes the easier paths can get you, but you don't pay attention to it. You think, oh, this is really easy, and you just go down faster than you should. So we're almost at the bottom already. Here's where we came in. And this is the old road up to the mansion. And there's the bike. It's a good place to, I can put the bike there, and there's a good pole to lock it up, so I lock it up there and then the bike back.
That concludes the trails from UNBC from Ginter's Meadow. And now when I do the trail loop, I actually go up the multi-use trail and come down the equestrian trail. My next video will be Forest of the World up here in Prince George. And for something completely silly, watch my Stickman shorts. Again, I want to thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye!